Good morning. This is No Bad Days. I am Ryan. Welcome back. I've got some actual content for you that involves other humans and their cars. I know this is, this is the first time for everything. Say I go to these meets and stuff like that, but I never film. Well, I don't, and you'll kind of see why. Because I end up just talking to people and enjoying myself, and I don't really think about breaking out my camera. But what I did is I went to the RAD Cars and Coffee put on by Dave of Dave Levitt Photography and Blaine of Righteous Garage. Two amazing guys. I've known them for quite a while, and it's a invite-only Cars and Coffee, and it's happened a couple times before. So I was invited out, went out today, and you're going to see some super sweet cars. There's no audio over the top of it, so I'm just going to play some music over it because I didn't really feel like talking about each and every individual car. But you're going to see a common theme here is that lots of dope JDM wheels on cars, and lots of unique builds as well. So I hope you enjoy this aspect. And then what we're going to do is I already had pre-recorded some stuff about the car, my car, and my bike as well. So we'll throw this all in one video, and yeah, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So in the meantime, I'll just give you the quick overview of how the whip's looking for the event. That's how it's sitting. It's not a bad little car. Not a bad car for the old daily. Not mad at it. It's been great to me. Runs great, works great. Quick, sporty looking, fun little car. That's how it is. So I will catch up with you at the meet, and we'll jump into the rest of the footage from there. Hope you enjoy it. Documentary. Let's whip this.
That car is going to be leaving, so can you guys come over this way, please? The blue one.
I just bought those like a couple weeks ago.
Got the old JB Math whip here. Oh, so that you can see to get it in and out of here.
Yeah.
Jason, using some JDM techniques. These are bumper markers, so for the wide body, so you can get out of the garage because somebody's parked in front of it and they're out of town. So it's only got like a couple inches on each side to get out. In last night's adventure, you can see Jay's missing his surround around his exhaust and wastegate dump because his motor snapped a bolt and rotated the motor back. So it's fixed now. Jack of all trades. So we're gonna roll out and roll to a show and just kind of see what's happening. We got the whips. This is Joe's mild car, not a big deal because race car. Got the old 3-piece conversion, Enki RPF ones, just a mild amp, no biggie.
Should I take those things off? Yeah.
Not till you're out. You may need them. Then keep them in your car in case you have to get back in.
Where was that from?
That's Cat.
Oh,
Is he there?
yeah,
Oh, Cat.
I don't say I don't.
Cat.
that cat's big.
Hi, Stinker Buns.
Get over here.
You're such a good babies. You're such a good babies.
It's like a dog size.
You're such a good baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he's happy.
Just finished up building this bike a couple weeks ago. I meant to film it in conjunction with when I got my car back with all the new parts on it from paint, but I didn't. So here we are. I've been too busy using it and riding it. So for those of you that aren't familiar with what I kind of do, I ride gravel bikes. So I don't ride a motorcycle. Maybe someday I can, I just don't. So this is my gravel bike build, and I'm lucky enough that through a local business, I get the chance to ride a lot of different bikes. So we have a local shop in here in town. It's like family to me. It's called McPhail's. And yeah, so I get the opportunity to ride a ton of different bikes every year. And this is my current build. So, like I said, I ride gravel bikes, which more or less are, they kind of look like road bikes, but they have wider tires. So they have a little bit more slack geometry, so they're not as aero and as over the handlebar as you would be with a true road race bike. But still very aggressive depending on the build and the style. There's a million different styles of gravel bikes. So the bike that I'm riding right now is called the Specialized Diverge. My frame is the Sport Carbon, but that's the only thing that's the Sport Carbon about this. So the reason why I'm riding the Sport Carbon, that's all they had available in the 61. That's the size frame I ride. And so yeah, so what I did is I got the Sport Carbon and built it up from there. So here it is, and I'm just getting ready to kind of go for a ride now, so that's why it's kind of in the form that it's in, and sorry, that's in my kitchen here. So this is it. So we have a carbon fiber frame and a 61 centimeter. Cool thing about the Diverge is it has what's called the Future Shock. So there's a little suspension piece right in here, which allows the handlebar to go up and down like a shock. Purpose of that is to take rough vibration and stuff like that out of the road when you're riding on gravel trails or rail trails, things like that, like train trails. You'll see this bike's equipped with a bunch of unique bags. In the bike world, basically, if you can think of it, it exists. So this is a 15-liter waterproof bag that runs off the back of my seat. This is going to store things like clothing, stuff I don't need to access while I'm riding, but when I get off the bike. This can go much bigger. This is just as big as it needs to be at this point in time. This is a trusted and true oldie but goodie that I've had forever. All the stuff I run is Blackburn. This is a cell phone holder, but because it's so old, my cell phone doesn't actually fit here. But I do have asthma, so I keep my inhaler in here, and I keep my cell phone in here. It does fit, it just doesn't fit through this section. And because I do listen to music when I ride, I know some people are against that, but I do. And it's nice to be able to monitor all my stuff. I don't have a heads-up display for my GPS and or tracking my, like logging my ride, so distance and cadence and heart rate and all that stuff. I just track it through my phone. I don't care to look at it. I'm not leading group rides, so I don't need to know my pace. I kind of can tell by my pedal stroke anyways. This bag here is what's called a feed bag. So it's got a good size volume to it. And in here is just where I kind of keep stuff that I'm going to grab on the fly. So already in here is I've got energy blocks, things like that. So it's big storage area. Keep your food in there. As you're riding, you just reach down and grab it. So as we get to the frame, like I said, full carbon bottle cages. You'll see there's an interesting crankset on here. So this is SRAM Apex 1x11, or you can use it on 1x12. It's a pretty entry-level crankset, but that's what came on this bike. So I just left it because it does fine for me, but everything else on the bike is upgraded. I'm running Shimano pedals. So you'll see that I've got SRAM Force, ETAP, Axis shifters. So what that means is that these are electric shifting. So if I just tap this button, the derailleur moves. If I tap this other button, it shifts up. So full electric shifting, it's wireless, and it's a pretty amazing system to have on a bike. So I run SRAM Force, ETAP Axis, there's your derailleur there, your little battery here, which you just charge up every once in a while, 12-speed rear, and you can see 12-speed chain there. So I'm running a 12-speed setup, single chainring on the front, and yeah, the crankset works. Like I said, it works for 11 and 12 speed. Also have upgraded wheels, so we're running the Zip 303S carbon wheel. So that's a carbon wheel with tubeless setup. So I'm running the Panaracer Gravel Kings in a 38, pretty much my favorite tire right now. This from the factory comes with 42C wide tires. I prefer 38 style of riding I do. I don't need much wider than that. It's faster in this kind of setup. So these are set up tubeless as well. So what that means is there's no inner tube. It's actually just locked on here, inflated, and then tire sealant is put in. We've also upgraded the handlebars. So these bad boys are the NV, I can't see, NV carbon gravel bar. So the reason I go to these is it's nice to have lighter weight, but they have a really dramatic flare here to them. So when I'm on the handlebar here, if I want to go to a different position that's quite different, my hand's much farther outside. So that's a great feature to have when you're in really rough conditions. You can come down to the drops, gives you much more stability. It's a great climbing position. So when you're climbing hills, it gives you a kind of power position to kind of pump, and also an arrow position. So if you kind of come into this part of it, it gives you an arrow position. So the big advantage of using dropped handlebars is all these hand positions. So my most common, you can kind of see where my hands have worn out, is right here. So I'm able to work the brakes, the shifting, everything's right from here. That's called over the hoods. You also have here, you can go with your hands, you can go down here, anywhere on this bar. So you have a ton of hand options. So that's kind of what my cockpit looks like. When I'm sitting out on the road, this is kind of what I'm staring at for, you know, however long I'm out, a few hours. That's the tread design that's on the current Panaracer that I'm running. Again, it's nice and grippy. Don't need to be any wider than that for the conditions I'm riding. And yeah, and then we've got carbon fiber seat post. I'm running the specialized power saddle. It's a shorter nosed saddle, really comfortable, obviously when you're wearing bike shorts, but yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's my bike build. So when I think about this in comparison to, say, my car builds, very similar. I like to upgrade the looks. I like to upgrade the performance. Always got to have a nice set of wheels. And much like my cars, they don't tend to stick around a whole long time. I don't have this like attachment to things, and I like having new stuff. So when it's time for a new bike, then a new bike arrives. And same thing with cars. So that's my bike build. And a question I may have asked in the first part when I was looking over the car, what do you think costs more? So this build in its current state versus my car for what I purchased the car for and its current modifications, which I've invested into it, the car's still a little bit more, but not by much. And this actually would be more if I had to pay suggested retail price for stuff. This build in its current state would be 10,000-ish Canadian. So 2,000 for the wheels, 2,000 for the shifters and derailleur, and then about 5,000 for the bike plus the accessories. Let's say about 10 grand. My car isn't much more than that. So although that car was $80,000 new, if you were to buy that car today, it's a $6,000 car used on the used market. So pretty crazy to think that bikes, are worth more than lots of cars, and they don't have little engines in them. But I love them both. They have different purposes in my life, and yeah, like I said, about to get it out here and ride this thing, put in some work. It's in Canada, we only have so many seasons that we can ride these things, so you got to make the most of it while you can. We're already almost halfway through August, and then we got to start thinking snowboard season. So I got to make the most of it while we